to AO3, for this assessment objective, you're expected to record, meaning that you need to both write and create studies. In your sketchbook, you should be producing studies from various sources, from artists' work and studies of your own ideas, and you should combine it with short notes on the side where you write about your thoughts, ideas, and observations. AO3 is all about showing your artistic process and critical thinking. I will explain this in more detail with examples. In this example, you can see the student has produced drawing studies on various seashells. In this other one, the student has produced studies of different leaves in various shapes and colors. And in this one, studies on optical illusions. We discussed this already previously in AO1, that you need to research and look for ideas, references, and sources for your work. But for AO3, you take the next step and you produce studies and explore those sources that you found. The studies can be either from real-life observation, which is preferable, or from images. On the same page of your studies, you should be making notes, writing keywords, and talking about your observations, your process, and important facts. Let's talk a bit more in detail about the written annotation for your studies. In this example here, the student has looked into the technique of collage and wrote a few things about this technique to show that she gained some knowledge about collage. The writing helps you develop your critical thinking, that you're not just making things randomly, but you're learning and reflecting on your process, the techniques you're discovering, and there is some discussion about art in general. This is another good example. The student has looked into typography and explored how to write fonts in an appealing manner. As you can see here, he produced studies and made drawings of the font in different styles. He has also created a small collage study and has written a few things on the side about his process and ideas. Do not get intimidated about the written annotation though. You do not need to write endless text. Just keep it simple and concise. Take an approach as if you're writing a journal. It is not academic, it is your own thoughts and notes that support your artistic work. Now, let's talk a bit about artist studies. I already mentioned in AO1 that part of your research and developing ideas should be about looking at artists' work. You need to be making copies of the work, learning from them and creating work inspired by them. As you see in this example, the student has made copies of some of the work, did a color palette study, and close-up watercolor studies. Copies of artists' work show that you learn from their technique and their style, and this will help you to develop your own ideas and enrich your work. Besides that, however, you also need to analyze their work in writing. So an artist's analysis is an important part of your GCSE studies. As you will see here in this example, you can print out some images of the artist's work, stick it on your page, make copies, and on the same page, write a few key points about the artist. You can mention some biographical information, but the basics. Don't go on writing long essays and copying endless information from the internet. Read about the artist and write it down in your own words. You also need to analyze, describe their style, and discuss the subject of their work. Express your personal opinion on what you like or dislike about their work. What ideas are you getting from them and what you learned. In the PDF guide I have created for you, I have also included an annotation guide with directions and a set of questions that you can answer on how to analyze and discuss an artist's work. So do follow that every time you're doing an artist's research. Now, another important part of AO3 is to annotate and discuss your own work and ideas. In this example, the student has done some studies from references of marbles, but has then taken a step further to incorporate these in her own ideas, and she created a painting of a neck with a necklace made of marbles. When you work on your own ideas, it is good to annotate with notes on the side, as we see here in this example. You need to show that you reflect on your work, So write down your thoughts, your intentions, discuss your idea, if you're happy with the result, explain what you did wrong, if there's something you could do better, and so on. On the PDF guide, you will find again a series of questions that will help you analyze and annotate your own work as you go along. So use this regularly whenever you're working on your own ideas.